Just so you know, because I was gonna try and still tweet it while
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Two in the Zone. You have the one, the only, the professor over there, Dead Prez Picks. We're going to be diving into a bunch of NBA, baseball. A lot of things are happening right now. Shout out to Scotty Scheffler for winning the Masters. But before we do that, just want to give you guys a quick shout out to our sponsor, Seven Stack Sports. Give them a follow right there on the screen at Seven Stack Sports. The best book on Twitter. They are doing amazing promotions right now with the baseball season. They're doing -1 lines as well for baseball. I think Dead and I went 3-0 last week in collab plays with Seven Stacks. So definitely jump on that. Best customer service around. Same day payouts if you're using cryptocurrency. Again, that's at Seven Stacks Sports on Twitter. Give them a follow. They're really, really close to 10,000 followers. Dead, how was your weekend?
It was really good. They say best week of the new year, so coming off a really nice week. NBA was good. MLB kind of just had that week where everything was clicking. So, we were talking about it before. We got a good MLB slate. Tomorrow's show, we're going to, solely dedicate to the playing games because we have two great playing games that we're looking forward to. But for today, going to get in to the MLB slate.
Let's give ourselves a pat on the back, man. We had an amazing NBA season. It was awesome in terms of our best bets, you and me. And then we had, I think, 3 futures bets that you and I aligned with, right? Bulls to make the playoffs, check it off. Rockets under, check it off. Yep. Spurs under, or Spurs over, check that one off. So 3-0 in terms of futures you and I agreed on before the season. So, I mean, our NBA is looking awesome. And with the playoffs just around the corner, this is the stop for you guys to kind of just listen to our analysis, because Dead and I are very similar in the way that we're not going to bet a ton of overs. We're not going to bet a ton of favorites. We are, regressional underdog type bettors. So definitely look into that. But okay, let's go ahead and just recap quickly the weekend. I had 5 plays in the NBA yesterday, which is the most I've ever had. For a couple months. I went 4-1. I was really, really close to getting a 5-0 sweep. I was on the Grizzlies team total under 107.5 points, and they scored 110. 61 of those were in the second half. So that's a really bad beat, in my opinion. But let's see. I hit Pacers team total over. I hit the Hawks team total over. Cavs -8 was my biggest NBA play, as well as Magic +8.5, and they won outright. So NBA, like I said, is looking really, really good. Dead's having a little technical difficulties. He's going to jump on as soon as he can. But we are looking forward to, the 4 play-in games. Well, it's going to end up being 6 play-in games, but 2 initially tomorrow, 2 the next day, and then we'll have the matchups after that. But I do want to just quickly dive into some of those play-in games. Again, we're not going to have official plays on the Cavs, Nets, and Clippers T-Wolves yet, but I can give you some of my analysis. The Nets quietly playing a little better in the last 2 weeks. I think they were struggling for about 2.5 months there with Kyrie, and now there's reports of Ben Simmons maybe coming back as well. But although I do think the Nets take care of business against the Cavs here, I don't know if they're going to cover that 8.5 number. Again, these are just initial leans in the NBA. That second game with the Clippers and the T-Wolves, Dead and I were talking about this offline, but he leans the Clippers there. I haven't looked into it, but I'm always going to fade the team that doesn't play any defense. So I don't like the Nets. I don't like the T-Wolves. Teams like that play 0-0 defense. Dead, any initial thoughts on the 2 play-in games tomorrow?
Yeah, right now for me, sorry, the connection's been lost power this morning. They say it's been bad all day, but yeah, for me, the Clippers are definitely my lean to start this. I just wrote up an article with Odds Tracker. too many points right for an experienced team, in my opinion. With Paul George and Norman Powell back, I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the league. If Marcus Morris Sr. steps up, Reggie Jackson steps up, Nick Batum, they have guys who've been here, right, and they've experienced these types of things. Minnesota, they haven't won a playoff series. AC, the last time they won a playoff series, I was 5. So it's been quite a time. They are not accustomed to playing in the postseason.
I love every time Dad gives me those type of stats because it's like the last time the internet was invited or Wi-Fi didn't exist yet. And yes, he was 5 the last time they won. That was probably the KG era. But let's get into baseball then, Dad.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to kick it off. There's a game going on right now, the Guardians and the Royals. So there is some early games today, but we're going to get to those night games for you guys. We'll do some a little bit earlier, but let's start with my Phillies and the Mets, AC. Phillies have become a pretty heavy favorite now, up to -165. It's going to be Taijuan Walker and Ranger Suarez getting the ball for Philly. Phillies looked really impressive in the first series offensively. Yesterday, though, the bats went silent, right? Gene Segura hits one out in the ninth, but they had nothing going all day long. First 2 games, offense explodes. Last game, they struggle a little bit. It's going to happen, obviously, from time to time. Mets looked good in their series as well. Almost got the sweep, but could not complete it yesterday. But I like Philly here. Mets, they have been playing. They have not had a break yet to start the season. It's a big game right now. I know it's early in the season, but these division games hit different, right? When Oakland comes into town, it's one thing. Now New York coming in. I think the energy is going to be great tonight at Citizens Bank. Suarez is a guy a lot of people don't know about, but I think he's one of the better arms in the game that a lot of people will not talk about to begin the season. I think come the end, he's going to be a guy a lot of people know. But offensively, I think Philly's going to be too much for the Mets tonight. So I like them on the -1 line. You can get it at 7 stacks. That's another thing. If you guys need -1 lines, people are always damning me. Use 7 Stack Sports because not a lot of books offer that. So you do not have to worry about the run line. You don't have to worry about if your team blows a 6-run lead in the 9th and win by 1. You can get your money back. Shout out Kenley Jansen. He just did that a couple nights ago. But you don't have to worry about it if you can, get the -1 lines. I'm sure AC, you were great. And that could work the other way too, right? If you want to take the dog and you want to take a little bit of a better line, getting them +1 versus the +1.5, you could always do that as well. But Phillies for me tonight, AC -1. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would lean the Phillies here as well. Home opener, right, back in Philly. And then also, Suarez's first name is the best name ever. So I'm good with that. With the Phillies, Phillies -1. If you want to play a little more juice, then Philly money line should be okay as well.
All right, let's move it along to the Brewers and the Orioles. Brewers did not look good in that opening series against Chicago, right? I was on them yesterday, so they had a little bit of a comeback, but I was also on them on Saturday. So the Brewers split for me in this series. But we talked about coming into the season how they have the best rotation in baseball on paper with Woodruff, Burns, and Peralta. None of the 3 looked dominant to start the season. Woodruff looked bad. Burns kind of just had 1 slip up of an inning. But Orioles tonight, I like them as a dog here to get their first win of the season. What do you think?
I lean the over here. Hauser throws a really, really straight fastball. So I think if the Orioles can see that a couple times, even though their lineup is terrible, right? They only have 4 runs through 3 games, which I think that's why there's value on the over, in my opinion. So I believe right now it's sitting at 9. I think if the Orioles win, I think they're going to have a ton of run support. So I do lean that way with you too, Dad, and with the team total. But I think I like you're just on the Orioles straight up. I like the over on the game. So give me 9 is my very, very strong lean in this one. All right, moving on here to the next game. This is going to be the home opener for the Rangers today. So the Rangers are playing host to the Rockies. Let's see. The Rangers are 1-2. Rockies are 2-1. Rangers coming off a really, really nice win, 12-6 against the Blue Jays. They should be 2-1 themselves. They led, I believe, 7-0 in that first game of the season and still lost 8-10. They have one of the worst bullpens in the league, but I think that's going to be normal for the Rangers. But this is a home opener for the Rangers. Hearn is not a name I'm super confident with, but the Rockies Gomber is, in my opinion, terrible. So I lean the over here. I feel like if you do a blanket over on the Rangers this year, you're gonna hit like 60% of the games. So
I mean,
I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They're as good as anyone in the league, right? The Rockies, though, also obviously they could swing it, but we're talking more when they're in cores. I like Rockies overs, but you made the point. The Rockies overs might be the Rangers overs this year, right? Everybody used to bet Colorado overs. It's hard to not take Texas, obviously, because they don't have good pitching. They have great hitting. So on paper, it makes a ton of sense. Like you said, it might hit at that 60% clip. Yesterday, I had the Jays first 5 minus a half as a free play. That died quick, but it's because Texas has guys offensively that can compete, right? Simeon and Seager, they're MVP level players. Kind of surround them. Adolis Garcia had a great year last year.
It's still super surreal here in Texas to say that we have Simeon and Seager, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and for a long time too, right? Like you have them locked up for quite some time. I like Texas, though, at home. I think it's a good spot to take them in this home opener. Facing a weaker Rockies team, because Toronto, they're one of the best in baseball, as we know, and they hung with them. They could have won. They could have won any of those games. They could have won 3-0 in that series, so they looked good to me. All right, let's move it along to Detroit. We got the Red Sox and the Tigers. Tigers are a fascinating team this year, in my opinion, because I think a lot of people are like, "It's Tigers, they suck." I think this is a really good Detroit roster. I like them today. Red Sox looked out for us last night, AC. Thank you to the Red Sox. But I think we know that division in the AL East, that is going to be fun to watch, right? There's really 4 teams who legitimately could win the division. Tonight, though, I think it's a good spot for the Red Sox. They play a late Sunday night game. Kind of a weird start time here tonight in Detroit. Quick travel day. I like the Tigers here at home. What do you think?
I also lean the Tigers. This is actually a great spot. The Tigers just lost 10-1 against the White Sox, blown out. And the Red Sox just won on national TV, Sunday Night Baseball. So everyone's going to remember that. You guys know I love fading, the public or the public news. So I think the spot here is Detroit. It's still sports at the end of the day. You can still lose, but I think this is definitely a Detroit value spot for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the Tigers there as well. Maybe that'll be the collab tonight, I say. Oakland and Tampa. This one's going to surprise a lot of people, but I'm going with the big dog here in the A's. I think they do get their the win here tonight. Rays coming off that sweep. Oakland's bad, right? But I think when you get really good value spots on Oakland, and as we know, betting juice in MLB over a season, you're going to get destroyed. So I think you need to take 2 to 3 dogs a day when you're looking at a board like this. I like Oakland here purely due to value. Do you have any thoughts on this game?
Layoff for me. Obviously, the Rays are coming off a sweep, 3-0 sweep. That team is super, super talented. From a talent standpoint, they should be like minus 1,000 against the A's tonight, to be honest. But Blackburn isn't bad on the mound. I believe this is the home opener for Tampa Bay as well. So you can kind of fade that type of news. But for me, man, I'm going to lay off. I do like that you're on the dog here. I love that type of value.
Yeah, just got to take you know that too. Obviously, with MLB, we got to take some dogs. Getting in here, betting juice will get us destroyed. All right, this is, I think, will be the best game of the night, the Jays and the Yanks, because talk about offense here. I mean, these lineups, these could be debated as best lineups in baseball, right? When you look top to bottom. Over, though, do you think it should be a little bit higher here, looking at the number? I mean,
fishy, right? It's a little fishy.
Say over here on paper, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good call. I would say the majority of the public is on the over because they see both lineups. They see 2 really, really good, mashing units, if you will, back in Yankee Stadium, which is somewhat of a hitter's park. But I don't know. Maybe it's a first 5 under, and then the bullpens come in, and that's when you get a ton of runs. But it was an overplay last night against the Red Sox too, and it went under. So I guess just be a little mindful with that. For me personally, it's most likely a layoff here. I don't really know much about was it Talon for the Yankees? Mm-hmm. But yeah, layoff for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still just going to trust the over here, even though I know it's going to be a public bet spot. There's too much offense, in my opinion, for them not to get here. Now, Oxman, he's a very talented arm, right? He was really good last year, kind of burst onto the scene I could see him somewhat limiting New York, but I mean, they just have too many guys in this lineup. You get a couple bloops, right? They have so many guys who can hit it out of the ballpark that I would feel very fearful is a way to put it if I was on the under. So if I have any type of play, it's the over. All right, AC, 3 games to go, but let's give a shout to the best sports book on Twitter, 7Stack Sports. There it is, guys. I think the biggest thing right now is getting with them for -1 lines, +1 lines. We talk about this all the time. I do a ton of -1, +1. I think AC does a good amount of it as well. I think a lot of cappers do it. It just gives you a little bit of cushion so you don't have to sweat out that run line all game. You get a little bit more juice. You get a little bit more the other way also if you're taking the +1. So make sure to take advantage of that. Give them a follow on Twitter. 10,000 followers, and they're doing a massive giveaway. We don't want to give away too many details, but just trust us that they're going to give a lot of money away, and they're about 40 away from that goal. So please give them a follow. All right, 3 to go. This is a game I've had circled all day. The Marlins and the Angels here tonight. This one is in LA. Angels a little disappointing, right? To start the season, they go 1-3 against Houston, who's just been the bullies of the AL West now for quite some time. One encouraging thing, though, I only bet on the Angels once this series, and it was when Noah Syndergaard threw and they won the game. So I love the Angels right now. I love them again tonight in this spot. Offensively, AC, they've been held down to this point. I think this is another lineup that's just too good to turn in another performance like that tonight. I'd say they have the best first 3 hitters in baseball with Ohtani, Trout, Rendon. Jared Walsh is an all-star right when he's right at the plate. So this is an Angels lineup. I don't see how Miami competes offensively tonight. The Marlins do not have a whole lot of firepower in that lineup. So give me the Angels tonight on the money line. What do you think?
I think this is going to be our collab play tonight, Dad. I also love the Angels tonight. Everybody knows about Ohtani, but people are forgetting how good Mike Trout is. Right now, he's only batting .231, only 1 home run, 1 RBI. I think he's going to have a massive series this series here against a really bad Miami team. Not only they have Brandon Marsh, but they have Joe Adele, right? So they do have a really, really good lineup. Maybe that first series was just too much for them because Houston, although they lost a ton of pieces the last couple of years, Houston is still a very, very quality team. And I don't know if the Angels are ready for them right off the bat, but I think they'll be ready for Miami.
That's a good point. I think a lot of people almost slept on Houston, including the bookmakers, right? Like the Angels were very respected throughout that series. So if you were on Houston for the majority of the series, congratulations to you because you could have made some good money, some good prices there for Houston. All right, the Nationals and the Braves. Any thoughts on this one? This one is a heavy favorite spot for Atlanta. So I have nothing good to say about this one. Do you have any thoughts on this, or should we skip it along to that final game of the night?
Yeah, no thoughts here. This is another opportunity. If you haven't signed up with 7Stack Sports and you like the Braves, this would be a great -1 spot. I kind of lean the Nationals team total under here if I were to choose,
Okay.
but no official play.
All right, let's move it along because this is a game I know you were going to talk about the Padres and the Giants. We were saying big game tonight. Padres offense, like you said, they kind of have found their footing a little bit. No Tatis to start the season, so they should only get better as the year goes on. Giants last season, I believe they set a franchise record in wins, so they have high expectations coming back this year. Looked okay against the Marlins, right? Took a couple games from them. Do you think they continue to roll tonight at home?
I think it's a Giants line read. They're favorite at home against the Padres. No one really likes betting the Giants, even though they're one of those really solid teams. But I think it's a Giants line read, but I'm gonna go opposite. I kind of like the Padres on the plus money here tonight. I think they get it done.
I'm with you. I like the Padres here solely due to the value. So I think the Pods will be the way to go tonight. All right, AC, it's going to be that time. I'm going to have to tweet it out because I'm recording it on my phone. So if I keep going in and out, but it's time for best bets.
No worries. All right, I'll start with best bets first. I think we kind of mentioned it already, but I love the Angels tonight. Angels at -135 on the money line. I think they're going to win by more than 1 run as well. If you want to kind of stack that with the run line or even alternate line -2.5, I think those are good plays. I think the Angels not only dominate tonight, I think they dominate this series. So Angels is going to be my best bet of the night, Dad.
All right, I love it. I'm going to go with your boys here. The Texas Rangers. This game starts in a couple hours. Home opener, right? People in Texas love your baseball.
Should I go? Should I just cancel work and head out?
Yeah, skip the day of work.
Yeah.
But people in Texas, right? I'm sure they're getting up for this one. I'd imagine this is the most excited they've been about Texas baseball in a couple of years. I expect a great atmosphere. A lot of runs in this game. Like you said, Austin Gomber does not scare me, so I think they're going to be able to hang up some runs on him, and I think the Rangers get it done here, AC. So we will be back, guys, right, AC, tomorrow for a special edition of the NBA playing games. We had a great NBA season. I hope you guys all cashed with us a lot watching Two in the Zone. We're going to transition into baseball and we're going to make it work, right? We got baseball, basketball, hockey playoffs. We're going to have a lot to get into, but we do want to thank again 7 Stack Sports. Give them a follow on Twitter, and we will probably have a collab tonight, right? Maybe tomorrow.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.